All right, let's talk about Christian Darrisaw. Again, we've talked about him with Rick's picks, and Rick, feel free to go into any detail you want on the Rick's picks versions of these players, because as Debo notes, that was back in the fall, and a lot of folks probably haven't heard those stories, and if they have, they probably want to hear them again if they're Vikings fans. But Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech, he is Pete will tell you, because Pete will tell you when he's right, never mentions anything when he's wrong. He was a huge Christian Darrisaw guy coming out. And I thought Christian Darrisaw was going to be a good player. I didn't know that he was going to be who he is, but that's why you're Rick Spielman and he's Pete Prisco. So Christian Darrisaw comes in at 56 on this list, the offensive tackle. And sort of just give a quick backstory about how you and the Vikings ended up with Darrisaw back during that 2021 draft, I believe.
Yeah, no, that was a year that we were Vera Tucker was there. We knew we needed an offensive lineman. We ended up trading with the Jets. We moved down, I believe, just going off the top of my head. We actually tried to move back up, because what I've talked about in previous podcasts is you have to know where the threat is of you potentially losing a player. So we knew that the Las Vegas Raiders were going to probably take an offensive lineman, and also the Indianapolis Colts. So we actually tried to trade up to try to get at or right ahead of Las Vegas. Las Vegas ended up taking Leatherwood, which we were relieved. We didn't have him as high on our board as we had Darrisaw.
That's a nice way of putting it, but go ahead.
And then we moved down, and then we went back and forth on who we would take if the Colts ended up going with Darrisaw, because they needed a left tackle at the time too. We ended up staying where we were. The Colts ended up taking the defensive end pass rusher from Michigan,
Kwity
Paye, and then that's how we ended up with Darrisaw. We were very lucky, and when you watched him, and there was no question about his athleticism. Darrisaw had to get a little stronger, but it almost like he looked nonchalant at times because it was so easy for him, because he was such a fluid mover.
Right.
The question was, he had that groin surgery or that groin issue coming out. So he came in injured. We had to repair that. He had some struggles, wasn't able to get completely healthy until probably halfway through his rookie season. And then once he got over that, they said he came back in this year stronger and great shape. So with him as focused as he is and with the talent he has, I saw him, and maybe I'm way off base, a lot of Trent Williams in him, the type of athlete that he was. And, whether he develops into that good of left tackle is yet to be seen. But I know that that he has got a chance to be one of the premier left tackles in this league from what we've seen last year. And if he continues to, he has to stay healthy, has had some durability issues, but if he's able to stay healthy, I think he'll be one of the premier left tackles in the league.
As Debo notes, for some detail there, Rick, you traded down from 14 to 23 in that draft. 14 is where Elijah Vera Tucker went to the Jets. You got 2 third-round picks as part of that deal, and man, that was close. Like, you could have lost Darrisaw pretty easily.
Oh my God. Those are the moments in the draft where you just are sweating. Just like I talked about when Adrian Peterson, my first draft in Minnesota, and that 10 minutes with a team ahead of you picking, and you have everybody's sitting on pins and needles. You can hear a pin drop, waiting to hear that name from the team that is ahead of you and who they select. And once they select a name that you didn't have your sights on, it's the biggest sense of, I don't know if it's relief, excitement, or whatever it is, but it's an unbelievable sensation when the board does fall your way. And fortunately, it fell our way that night. And that was my last draft, and I got fired after that. So
you went out with a bang. So you did your part. It wasn't your fault, Rick. And you